Hello and welcome to a new episode of Critical Coffee Considerations. With me, Francis Peck and Lizzie. Yes, a dog sitting in the background. Sometimes you can't control everything, but this is really an exciting episode. You are exploring by nature. Give in. So I actually met Ander in Copenhagen, and what they have is something quite extraordinary. Just like you have specialty coffee, you now have specialty chocolates that you basically the brewing way is very similar to oh right, I mean, very nice, even with a card saying, you know, thanks for ordering. You know, that's really nice, like handwritten. The kind of card here, coffee, and then cacao. Yeah, I mean, even as a coffee roaster, especially now that I have. Oh, how is this? So the package is, I guess I need to get it like this, I guess. Okay, so we have those. We have one here, standing here. All right. So I ordered 3 types of the coffee beans. Sorry, the cacao beans. Oh, just getting it outside so I can show you how that looks like. All right. That's the second one, and then we have the third one. Okay, here we are. All right. So we have. What we have in this one, hand brew cocoa beans. This is the one from the Philippines. Then there's one from Vietnam, and here we have the one from other bean, same routine, no caffeine. Well, I guess there's a little caffeine. So of course this is the Ander cacao that is really an option for you to drink, let's say, as an alternative to your coffee brew. At least as soon as you figure out, so this slides off quite easily, and then I guess this opens, and I would expect some kind of a sealing, exactly. And here we go. Let's start with a smell. Wow, on first smell, of course there's chocolate, but there's more than chocolate. There's a lot of other things. Okay, that was my youngest daughter Hilly having a small already aroma test. Not sure what she was smelling exactly. So the way that you prepare this, and this is based on instructions I got from Ander Cacao, is quite similar, of course. Some steps are exactly the same, starting out with wetting your paper filter, of course, because that's a little bit to do some preheating on the one side, and on the second side it's so that you don't have the paper tastes. Okay, so this is good. And then basically we're going to do the recipe with 15 grams of the cacao nibs. So this is of course pre-ground, and you know, in case of coffee I always recommend having the beans yourself, the full beans, and grinding it just before. With cacao in general, it's just going to be a challenge. The nature of the beans is quite different between cacao and, oh, I already went above, let's see. So supposed to have 15 grams, and you know how I like to be very nitpicky. So these have not touched the wet filter paper, so that should be okay. Okay, yes, 15 on the dot. So your water, of course, so one of the big differences is there's a lot more fat in cacao. Fat, of course, melts, chocolate melts, even around 30 degrees already. So Ander recommends also doing a one pour strategy. And so we're adding 200 grams of water. And we should do that in a kind of a circular motion. And in about 45 to 60 seconds, you should just add all the water. This at least is the theory. And then of course we will see how quickly it goes through. So trying to do this, yes. We're at 50 seconds about, and we're hitting 202.5. I guess that is kind of okay. So we're seeing a lot less blooming than we would with a freshly roasted coffee. Of course, I'm curious to see if it mentions the roasting date. What I do know is that this is roasted lightly. Now, in general, cacao you would already roast it more lightly and at lower temperatures than you do with coffee, actually. So this one does not seem to indicate the exact. Probably should be somewhere, right? Should be somewhere. I guess that's here. Yes, we have a BB date, so I would say best before 25th of February 2026. So that still gives us some time, Lizzie, please, to enjoy this drink. So in general, with this kind of brew recipe, it was recommended to keep the time under 5. Lizzie, yes. Someone else is also very excited about this new way of having an afternoon tea, coffee, or cacao as we are preparing here. You can already kind of see a little bit the color. It's quite a light color compared to when you would be brewing coffee that for the same kind of quantity of 15 grams. And of course, depending on how it was roasted, light versus medium or dark, that would of course have an impact on the color you would be observing now. So what can we further learn? I picked their Caribbean as kind of it was. I don't know if the Spaniards had their first taste of chocolate when they were in the Caribbean, but it was definitely thanks to discovering the Caribbean that we all get to enjoy chocolate today. But they have quality chocolates from Vietnam, El Salvador, if I'm not mistaken, Philippines, I also think. So they have a whole range of specialty cacao for you to try out. And then what do we further see? Okay, so the origin is the Isle of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Producer was St. Vincent, so you get a lot of information. Post-harvest Central Station Perseverance. Genetics Amelonado and Criollo hybrids. Harvested in March and May 2022. So it's very nice how you get really all the information. The process was 6 days of fermentation followed by solar dry house drying. It's kind of nice, and this kind of, it's wider packaging than you would do for coffee in this kind of cylindrical format, so it fits just on the top to give us this information. Alternate modern coffee with cacao that resonates. So there's no coffee at all in here. It's just that that's their tagline. It's to give you an alternative to your heavy caffeine based drink. So we're now almost at 5 minutes. That means we should let this process go only for another 30 seconds, and then whatever liquid you have left, you just have to, let's say, put that aside and enjoy the beverage that you was able to get at that point, because the last part will give you more kind of bitter flavors, and we're not interested in that. Actually, when they discovered cacao, and for the Spaniards, the taste was just too bitter, and also they added a lot of kind of spices, strong spices, that was not really the flavor palette that the Spaniards enjoyed. So we're now at 5 minutes 40. So you see there's hardly anything coming out now. Let's have a look. We still have quite some water here, so that is a pity. Of course, this is very early on, kind of experimenting with these brew recipes and seeing what works best. There we go. I should have, of course, I would say now I don't really know how much I actually have in total, because of course I had the other kind of things on top. So let's try and get 3 portions. Alright, so I will not be the only taster. The reason I'm very excited is that, of course, you know, when you're only selling coffee, you're excluding a large part of society that you're not able to sell anything to, basically. So of course this is ideal for very small baristas. So Rose, maybe you can sit there. I will give you your tasting at the other side. So we just had 107 grams, and this is for Hilly. And Rose, you go here. As an entrepreneur, you have to try and get your kids not too much in the picture, not just for GDPR, but just for their safety. But cheers, cheers. I hope you enjoy it. This is for all of us. I mean, I did try this also in Copenhagen, where I met Frederik from Ander Cacao. So, first question. Can you recognize the chocolate?
Yes.
No.
In the smell or in the taste? You don't recognize the chocolate? You have to cough. You have to cough. Be careful that the dog doesn't destroy. So I'm sorry, Lizzie. Lizzie, come here. Introduce yourself. Yes, no, you don't want to. Anyway, as you know, dogs cannot drink coffee or chocolate. I mean, it literally would kill them, so we're not going to do any kind of experiments like that. Well, they can, okay, they're going there. So, what do you think about the taste?
I like it.
You like it? And what kind of flavors do you pick up?
Coffee.
Coffee, there's no coffee inside here.
But I taste it.
Yes?
Yes.
It gives you a sense like coffee, but there's just a tiny amount of caffeine actually. So, oh yeah, you have like chocolate aroma, but then you also have a citrus-like flavors, and it is really quite enjoyable. And just very different than anything you would have had up to this point. So I would say we actually have this in our shop available, as do we have the filters or the Hareo containers here. I mean, you know, to put your filter in. You can find everything in our shop, including a selection of 3 or 4 types of this cacao beans. So enjoy your cups of cacao, coffee or tea, and hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks Hilly and Rose for trying this out, And yes, this is kids proof basically, just not dogs proof. Thanks and hope to see you on a next episode.